Second Nature for Children is in the house. How you doing, Coach?
As always, man. Great, great, great. How was yourself?
I'm doing absolutely great myself, man. As the family come in, just make sure, Facebook family, as you come in, make sure you go over to YouTube or come over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe, like, and share this information. We all need it. So make sure as you come in, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this information that Coach and myself is getting ready to bring forward. Coach, we're gonna have to find, I was telling you a little earlier, we're gonna have to find, we may have to even create our own platform to the point where we're reaching out to certain people um, who's trying to take their lives to another level. I'm definitely, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that YouTube, and I'm not mad at YouTube, but their platform that I'm seeing is more of an entertainment type of platform, and not a platform where we as a people are coming together to make a difference in our lives. Now, I don't do certain things on certain platforms. So if anyone know any platform where people of color are coming together to make a difference in their lives, and I base it and I do mine on dealing with the mind, the body, the soul. I'm not talking about dealing with the Black community and talking about a lot of problems. I've seen that on YouTube. I understand we have a lot of problems, but I'm talking about solutions. And I'm talking about the solving of problems. That's why we are here to speak on solutions. And when I'm talking about solutions, if anyone out there, before we even get started, once again, let me say it at the top, because if we say it at the bottom, I don't know how much longer. A lot of times we listen to the video and be some good stuff at the end. I don't know if everyone get it. And I'm seeing sometimes from some comments I may get, I can see where in the past, some people may just read the topic and respond off the topic instead of listening to the content. So make sure that if you send a comment, I would love for you to send a comment. But first, make sure you listen to all the content of the video and then comment on it, and not just comment on it from a title. And so up front, if you're struggling with your physical, if you need information about how to get started, exercising, eating, whatever it is dealing with your physical, there's my email address. Hit me up. Information is free. Dealing with your mental, we need to talk. I need to see what stage you're at. There's my email address. And dealing with your spiritual, dealing with the principles, there's my email address. So I want to get that out the way up top. We're here to help, especially people of color, coming with solutions. All of my videos and the ones that Coach and myself are doing are all based on helping us as a people and working on taking us to another level as a people. So tonight, Coach, I want to talk to you about, and now this is serious right here, because if we can get this right here together, it'll definitely, if you just sit down and think about it, it'll definitely begin to help solve a lot of the problems that we face and that we deal with right now today. And what I want to ask this question, and I'm hoping that the comments flow, because when I'm asking questions, I see the views, I don't see the likes, and I don't get the comments. Even if I ask a question, respond to the question. Just let me know what you think. Give me your answer. Give me your perspective. It's all right. And then if you don't like it, I would like for you to share why would we have 50, 60, 100, whatever views and 6 or 7, 12 likes. I'm not understanding. Let me know what you don't like about it. Share with me that information. But tonight, let's do this right here, Coach. Should children be in a monogamy relationship? Now, I've had this conversation with some people years ago, and some of the answers that I was getting was absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. So let's make sure first that we understand what monogamy is. And I ask the question again, should children be in a monogamy relationship? And that's the practice or condition of being married to one person at a time. Can anyone, here's the question up top, can anyone give me a legitimate reason that's a valid, something that's logical or acceptable? Give me a reason that children should be in a marriage relationship. Shoot me a comment, give me a yes or no. First, we need the man and the lady to stop having children when you are not in a committed relationship. We need the man and the lady to stop having children. Yep. When you're not in a committed relationship and you are not ready to nurture a child or children. Now we're talking about solutions to some problems that we face in the Black community. We got to stop it. I hope my family hear me. Now, if you have become a parent, you must carry out the responsibility of nourishing your child or children. Stay with me 1 second. Parents, from birth until I would say definitely 18 years of age, you should be nurturing. And then hopefully, as your child or children go off to college, are ready to embark into whatever career they're ready to embark in, that they are ready and not ready to make a lot of mistakes that we have made coming up. But you have prepared them. And especially that they're getting ready to go into their 20s. Your 20s should definitely be a time are you really trying to find yourself as you're coming up as a child. And within that 20 to 30, you should really be trying to find out who you are. Because a lot of us, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, we're still lost and we don't even know who we are. That 20 to 30 is a time where we really should be trying to focus on who we are, trying to really find ourselves. And we shouldn't be dealing with a lot of things that we did as a child, hurting within our 20s and 30s because of a lot of trauma, because of a lot of mistakes that we made, because we wasn't nurtured at that time. So as parents, we should have our children focused on learning. As a parent, I'm telling you, here goes some facts. If you want to help your child out, you should have your child focused on learning and thinking about their future, not having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. If you have a small child, parents, your children should be focused on their education and their future. That's so you have them to the point where if their behavior becomes out of control, now you have a reference to go back to them and say, remember you told me that you wanted to be this or you wanted to be that. Acting the way you're acting, you can't do it. If you're not getting your schoolwork, how you going to do this? How you going to do that? You need to take your child and have a reference so you can reference back to them when their behavior begins to get out of control. Not having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. We got to learn as parents how to nurture our children. Coach, you want to go in from right there? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, man. That has become the norm for so long, man. It's hard for me to see that turning back the hands of time in regards to that. I agree with you. I say make the main thing the main thing, and the main thing is you building that foundation, that stability, so you can stand in that, and then whoever you know decide to bring into your life or come into your life, you know what I mean? You can stand in there with them and y'all can build together. But in more cases than just observation, man, it seems like it's the other way around, you know. And I blame the adults, I blame the parents. I blame them to some degree because when adults speak about kids, you know, teenagers, uh, when it comes to relationships, they deal with the physical aspect, you know, they deal with the pregnancy or STDs, et cetera, et cetera. But they really don't deal with the emotional aspect of it. You can literally lose your life messing with the wrong person if you tell them, I don't want to do this anymore. But how would you know that? You know, how would you know that? You know, male or female, man, we are all emotional, you know, and you don't know what can tick this person off. And it's okay for someone to change his or her mind. That's what young people gotta understand. It's okay for that person to change their mind. They don't want to be bothered with you. You can be hurt, yeah, because that's natural. But that don't mean, you know, you should hurt them physically, take them out of here. You know what I mean? That's part of life. You know, rejection for whatever reason. You know, your revenge should be being successful. That's your revenge. You know what I mean? So yeah, I really think that aspect of it should be focused on a lot more because man, you can do a couple of clicks and you will see it just come up. Let's put it like this. You got grown people, can't even handle the emotions. How you expect a 17, 18, 19, you know what I mean, to handle theirs? Not saying that that's an excuse, but come on. Mature people, supposedly mature people can't handle emotion. You know, how you think a young person can do that? So, I mean, to answer the question, they should be told that, listen, it's okay to have this attraction, what have you, but understand this is not a priority for now. The main thing is you focus on you, build your foundation, however you see fit, however you want your life to go, and let that person know that what we're doing here does not supersede what I'm doing over here. I can't let that happen, you know. In another 6 months, yeah, you might just don't want to be bothered with me. So what happens if I put my focus on you instead of the main thing, which is, you know, building my foundation? So I agree, man. I agree.
Well, let's piggyback a little bit on some of the things you touched on. And they children, they should just have, and I'm gonna say it's a fact because I can prove where it's been very destructive in children's lives to call themselves being in a marital situation at such a young age. So I won't even just say it's my opinion. I've literally been speaking at schools where they have come in to get me because you would say two fifth grade girls are fighting over a little boy. See, I've literally experienced this. I have over 3 decades of working with children. So I've experienced a lot of things that a lot of people haven't seen or experienced when it comes to dealing with our children. And I have a very open mind and a very broad view of things dealing with them. And I see where this can cause a problem. It has caused a problem a lot of times. And if we can work on solving this right here, it'll help definitely solve that problem. So it's nothing wrong for a child to have friends, and that's what they need to have. But they definitely don't need to be in a committed relationship to one another. To pick it back a little bit, once again, on what you said, they are not emotionally ready for a marital relationship. It can take them off track. They're children. Like I said, they need to be getting their schoolwork and they need to be thinking about their future. That's what they need to be doing. And the comment section is definitely open to let me know anything else that you believe that they need to be doing over getting that schoolwork and thinking about their future, because it puts them in an adult situation that they are not ready for. Now, don't you wish sometimes you had someone that you would listen to that would have helped you make better decisions when you was coming up? There's a possibility it could have put you in a better position that you are in right now as you have gotten older. That's why it's so important that we work with our children. It's so important, Coach, that we share some of the mistakes that we have made in our lives so that our children don't have to keep making those same mistakes that we made. Do that make sense to you?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Now listen, and you hit this right here a little bit. Adults doesn't do well in monogamy relationships. So how do you think if adults are not doing well, what make you think that a child will? I just want the family to think about that for a second. They're watching the adults, and a lot of the adults are not mature to even be in a one-on-one relationship. Why you think it's so much cheating? Why you think divorce is up? Every time you look around, we breaking up with each other. All you have to do is look around and just observe. You don't have to always go run to statistics. All you have to do is just look around and observe, experience, and just observe things. So if your answer is yes, should children be in a monogamy relationship? If it's yes, you would definitely have to send me a comment and explain to me that if it's hard for adults to do it, why would you let our immature children take part in such of a emotional roller coaster? I need to see where the mindset of a lot of our parents, because I just had a conversation with a guy yesterday and I was letting him know that a lot of times, not all, when you run into children that's acting out in a certain way or has a certain behavior, a lot of times, through my experience, once you meet their parents, it'll give you a better understanding of why this child is acting out. And so that's why when I put out the solutions to a lot of the problems that we're having, when I tell you that first we have to work on changing our mindset, that's a fact. You said earlier that we have been doing something for so long till it's going to be really harder to really take a hold on stopping children from being in that type of relationship. But if the parents begin to do their part when the child is very young, what's happening, a lot of the parents are having children too soon, Coach. They're not ready. First of all, we have babies having babies. That's first of all. We got children having children. That's first of all. Then we're having a man and a woman who are having children that are not ready for the responsibility of having a child. And so what happens is they still want to live as if the offspring is not there. And you can't do that. Now, when you have a child, sacrificing is number one. It's now you gotta sacrifice. If you're not ready to sacrifice, stop having children. If you are not ready to make the sacrifice for at least 18 years, stop having children. We're not back in the 30, 40, 50s, different devices that we can birth control and condoms and all of this is going on now, no sex or whatever. But stop bringing these children into our mess because a majority of us are not ready to be what they call a parent or parents. We got to stop it. Got anything you want to share?
I thought about early on today. I thought about with one of the things you just said. If you had someone to tell you, early in the early years, certain things, your life will be better off. Man, half the folks I mess with, I want to mess with. I'll be honest with you, because I would have known better. You know what I mean? And that's why I kind of zone in on that emotional standpoint, because a person acting out of the ordinary, first, your reaction, oh man, they tripping. You know what I mean? You're going through something. But as you get older, you get more mature, and you start to think about it. You don't know that person upbringing. You don't know what they've been observing coming up. You don't know their definition of a relationship, what it looks like. You don't know. They have their own definition, what it looks like, and you do too. And that's one of the things too. You gotta get out as you get more mature. You know what I mean? You got to focus on, well, okay, not only that person upbringing, but what's their definition of relationship? Because it might not match with what yours look like. You know what I mean? So that kind of stand out. Another thing that jumped out to me as you were talking, and something that I understand it, but I never agree with it. I've heard people say they take their kid to a play date. Man, I'm not with that, man. And it just jumped out to me. I said play date. No, 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 no. You encouraging something, man. They come on, man. What you doing? No, they can talk on the phone, but now we got social media. They can go back and forth so much. But no, I'm not. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, man. So. But it's still the majority of it falls, man, on the parent, man. I know kids can be kids regardless of, they got their own makeup. Regardless of how you try to bring them along. Some can, deviate and go their own way, but it still depends on you. You the parent, you know what I mean? And that's for male and female, but it really depends on you the parent. So.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important for me saying that. That's why it's so important that parents are going to have to catch them when they're very young. I mean, even 5 and 6 and 7 years old. And a lot of so-called parents, they don't know how to begin teaching and educating their children about certain things, because we already know that once the child hit a certain age, especially once they hit the teenage years, how to humble and their mindset and this going on. And now we got social media is really doing a lot of things and showing a lot of things. I mean, you can go out to certain hell, just Facebook and see naked women naked. So I mean, it's right there. You're gonna, and so one of the reasons we're seeing when you have so much of this things that I just talked about, you got to be on the other end trying to combat it with something. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they don't get, so they don't get caught up in it. And so that's what's happening. I'm here to let people know. We see the problem. I'm letting you know what the problem is. We're not nurturing when it comes to our children. I'm talking about when it comes to our children. We're not nurturing our children from birth to 18. I'm not talking about all. So well, I know you may be doing your child. Okay, no problem. I'm not talking about you then. But you know several other people, I guarantee you, that's not. And because what happens is, it's one of the reasons where you see our children doing a lot of fighting, because she belonged to me, he belongs to me. This is one of the reasons that you see a lot of the children doing a lot of fighting, because they're not emotionally ready for, like you said a little earlier, definitely the breakup.
Yeah.
A lot of, yeah. And so you got to understand, from the mindset of our children, you don't know what you connecting with someone, what they've been seeing at home. If they've been seeing dad beat up mama, now your daughter has connected with someone who's been watching his daddy beat his mother as a child. Now, psychologically, that has played a part in his life. So now, him and your daughter is going together, and it can go vice versa, however you want to put it, but we're going to marry first. Now, every time something doesn't go right, I've seen it on the school campuses where the little boys are very aggressive and abusive to the young girls. That's why we got to make sure that we stop and talk to our children about trying to be in marital relationship at such a young age, especially when your grades are like worse than Six Flags. You got 6Fs. I mean, I want you to start looking at some of these report cards. When you go into a lot of these communities and check out these schools from elementary, middle to high school, you go to the Georgia, since we're here in Georgia, and pull up the statistics, you'll see where most of the schools academically are failing, especially when it comes to reading and math. Then a lot of the schools, they can have to combine together because you don't even have a lot of the kids even going to school. And then it's so dangerous now to go to school because so many of the children are out of control. And now you got more kids now with weapons going to school than ever. You liable to get shot at any time, saying anything wrong. I just dealt with a situation at a school where a parent took the child to school to do some shooting. And that investigation is going on right now. Yeah, a lady took her son, you gonna go handle this business. He at the school just shooting the place up. So I want you to see a lot of times that when we're having problems with our youth or our children, a lot of times, coach, on a higher scale, when you meet their parents, the two that had them, you'll understand why their offspring is having a lot of issues. There's a lot of physical abuse that's going on when they are together, like I just said. I've seen these boys slapping these girls around on the school campus. I'm like, whoa, 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 what you doing? Psychologically, we're not stable. We're not parenting our children. We're not nurturing our children. So we have to work to make sure, once again, that our babies stop having babies. Then we got to make sure ourselves as adults, because it's making no sense to me. And I own a nursery, okay? It makes no sense to me for me to have children that are just 6 months old, 8 months old, 1, 2, 3, and the parents are not together. It absolutely makes no sense. What do you do? Especially, and I'm telling you what I see. I'm giving you facts. You telling me that y'all had to have this child and now you all are not together? And I'm not just telling you one couple or two couples. I'm telling you over 30 something years that this happens where a small baby doesn't even have their mother and father together. That's a problem. I'm seeing where, and a lot of times we don't go and investigate different hospitals and stuff to really sit down and say how many teen girls are coming in, how many children that are 10, 11, and 12. So a lot of us ain't thinking about that. Are pregnant, coach. 10 years old, that's the fifth grade. 11 years old, 12 years old. And I'm talking about impregnated by uncle, cousin, somebody in the neighborhood. Facts. So if we're going to have children, parents, because you have become a parent, you must sacrifice. You got to stay together. All this right here where I don't have to be with them to do this or do that, then don't have the child. Now you're being very selfish. I don't have to be with the mama. I don't have to do this. I'm going to tell you something. No, you don't have to be.